It is very modern, built about 22 years ago. It was dedicated in 1982. 80. It's 24 years old. I remember they took out all the old restrictions. There was the remains of Crusaders and Byzantine Church, and the owner of this place, also Catholic dominations, removed fragments of Byzantine mosaic floor outside. They left it as in a small house as a gallery to show the remains of the mosaic floor. Then they turned upside down all the buildings that were around here. Cleaned out all the debris, all the dirt. Beside only the rock, or piece of rock, which believed to be the rock where Jesus put the bread and the fish and they multiplied among the crowd. This is the whole thing that they left here. And then they put up this church. You can see it's a very modern church, made of Jerusalem stone, which is an indication that this stone doesn't belong to this area. Only if it would have been built from basalt stone, from black stone, it would have been built on those days. So this stone is imported. Maybe Mount Carmel or Jerusalem. These are the only two places where we have this kind of limestone. Now what I would like to show you, the actual formation of the church going west-east. On those days, they didn't have a loop in order to be able to locate precisely the directions of the church toward the east, the way they used to do it on those days. So they actually messed up the directions and did it a little bit east-west rather than eastward. It has to be done directly eastward. So the remains of old church was in this formation. Then they took it out, and this is the formation of the actual church, that from all the ancient remains, the only thing we have left is this altar with some fragments of the old mosaic floor. There are some fragments of old mosaic floor from the 4th century, and everything else is new. Everything else is new. As we go inside, we will be able to see the remains of the ancient mosaic floor. But what the Catholic Church did here, they brought some artists from Italy, and they have restored. They did some restorations of the missing part of the mosaic floor. As you go in, you will see this is one piece of mosaic floor, restored mosaic floor, but it's very easy to recognize which part of the mosaic has been restored and what part of the mosaic is still authentic mosaic floor left from the 5th century. Now, there are some nicely decorated fragments of the Byzantine mosaic floor, which indicate us that the artist who did the mosaic floor 1500 years ago or 1600 years ago was an Egyptian artist. How do we know he was an Egyptian artist? Because you found that the main part of the decorations are reminding us or representing us animals that lived on the Nile, like all kind of birds, the flora and fauna that time existed on the Nile. And another indications we have on the other side of the mosaic floor, we have a Nile meter. The Egyptian on the Nile had column put into the Nile. And on the Nile they have lines marked on that column. You know, some season, some winters the Nile goes up, other winters Nile goes down, one summer it goes higher, one summer it goes down, it goes lower, and they need to know, see, what is the level of the Nile compared to the year before, or 2 years before, 3 years before, and therefore lines make levels from one year to another. Those kind of columns actually were designed on the mosaic floor, and that is a real indication that the Byzantine people actually were willing to spend so much bringing an artist from outside the country, bringing an artist from Egypt in order to come and build here a mosaic floor that will glorify the nice church dedicated to the multiplication of the fish and the bread. And when they did the restoration of the mosaic floor, they brought some artists from Italy, modern artists. And unfortunately, they didn't have the same talent of the Egyptian artists, and they couldn't restore the mosaic floor the way as the Egyptian did it. They did some restoration, but it's really nothing. Absolutely very simple, very simple mosaic floor compared to the beauty decorations, fragments we have from the Byzantine church. Let's go inside and see the place where the